Blood seeps through Ty's bandage, and the pain in his leg is getting worse with every step. What started as a small scrape while helping around the ranch has turned into something far more dangerous. His face tightens with pain, yet he refuses to tell anyone how bad it really is. One wrong choice could cost him everything: his health, his work, even the safety of those he loves most. Heartland's quiet calm has vanished, replaced by fear, worry, and an impossible decision that only Ty can make. Ty leans against the fence, trying to hide the limp that is growing more obvious with each passing moment. The morning sun glints off the ranch, birds chirp in the distance, and horses graze peacefully, giving the illusion that everything is normal. But underneath Ty's calm exterior, something is quietly worsening. The scrape he brushed off yesterday is no longer just a small cut. Redness spreads around it, swelling creeps up his calf, and each step sends a sharp sting through his leg. He pulls his jacket tighter, hoping no one notices. Amy watches from the porch, busy with chores, but her eyes flick toward Ty more than once. Jack is fixing a fence nearby, whistling, unaware of the danger silently growing. Ty knows that if he admits the truth now, the family will panic. They'll want to rush him to the clinic immediately, and he isn't ready to face the hospital or the fear of what the doctors might say. He's always been the one to handle things himself, the protector, the one who hides pain behind a brave face. Ty bends down to adjust his boot, wincing as a sharp jolt reminds him that ignoring the wound is no longer an option. He squeezes his eyes shut, forcing himself to focus on the tasks ahead. Each movement sends a wave of heat and throbbing pain up his leg, but he masks it, masking it with a forced smile as he tells himself, "I can manage. I've managed worse." But inside, panic grows. He can feel the infection spreading, creeping silently through his body like a storm on the horizon. The ranch, so familiar and comforting, feels suddenly oppressive. Every step reminds him of the choice he has to make. Should he risk going alone to get help, or wait and hope the wound doesn't get worse? Ty knows waiting could be deadly, but leaving Heartland even briefly is terrifying. The sounds of the ranch blur, horses' hooves, the wind rustling the fields, and Amy's distant laughter, all blending into a painful reminder that danger is closer than it seems. As Ty limps toward the barn, the blood on his bandage darkens, and his skin around the wound begins to shine with the heat of infection. Every second counts now, and yet he keeps moving, each step heavier than the last, hiding the storm within him from everyone who loves him. Heartland may look calm, but for Ty, the quiet is shattered. The hidden danger is growing, and soon, the choices he makes will determine everything. Ty leans against the barn wall, breathing hard, his hand pressed tightly over the bandage. The wound that seemed minor yesterday has become a silent enemy, spreading pain with every heartbeat. Sweat beads on his forehead as he looks down at the darkening stain on the cloth, the redness creeping further up his leg. For the first time, fear sneaks in, a fear he's never allowed himself to feel before. Heartland feels different now, less like home and more like a place where danger hides in the quiet. He tries to ignore it, forcing himself to focus on chores, stacking hay, feeding the horses, brushing the dogs. But each movement sends a jolt of pain through his leg, sharp and relentless. Even the simplest tasks feel impossible. Ty grits his teeth, refusing to show weakness, but inside, panic rises like a storm. He knows the infection is serious, and the thought of telling Amy or Jack fills him with dread. He doesn't want them to worry, to imagine the worst. So he keeps moving, hiding the truth behind a mask of normalcy. Meanwhile, Amy notices his struggle. From the porch, she studies him carefully, suspicion growing. "Ty, are you okay?" she calls softly. Ty forces a laugh, brushing it off as a minor stumble. But Amy's eyes, sharp and worried, see more than he realizes. Jack, working on the fence, glances up as well, sensing something is off. The calm rhythm of the ranch is starting to crack, replaced by a subtle tension. A quiet unease that spreads like the infection itself. Ty sinks to a bale of hay, gripping his leg as waves of heat and throbbing pain hit him. His mind races. If he waits too long, the infection could spiral out of control. But leaving Heartland, even for a short trip to the clinic, feels impossible. What if something goes wrong on the road? What if he's too weak to make it back? The choice looms like a shadow over him, heavier with every passing second. Heartland's fields, the barn, the animals he loves, they all feel suddenly fragile. As if his struggle alone could tip the balance, the camera would linger on the darkening bandage, zoom in on his tense face, and the faint tremble in his hands. The wind stirs the hay around him, a quiet reminder that time is slipping away. Ty knows he can't wait much longer. The infection isn't just a wound, it's a warning. And now, he must decide, risk the outside world for help, or fight alone, knowing every moment could bring him closer to disaster. Ty sits alone in the barn, the golden light of the late afternoon casting long shadows across the hay-strewn floor. Every breath feels heavy, each heartbeat echoing the warning his body is sending him. The infection is no longer subtle, it throbs, radiating heat that makes his skin feel like it's on fire. His bandage is soaked through, dark and sticky, and for the first time, he allows himself to admit the truth. This is serious. This is more than a scrape. This could be life-threatening. He looks around the barn, at the familiar tools, the horses grazing just outside, the quiet corners of Heartland that have always been safe. And yet, nothing feels safe anymore. Ty's mind races. He can stay here and hope the infection doesn't spread, try to patch it up himself. Keep going as if nothing has changed. Or he can leave. He can get in the truck, drive to the clinic, risk the road, risk being alone, but finally get the help he desperately needs. The choice should be simple. The right choice should be obvious. But fear clouds everything. What if he collapses on the way? What if the infection wins before he reaches help? Amy's voice echoes faintly in his mind, her worried eyes, her gentle insistence that he take care of himself. Jack's protective presence, always ready to step in. Ty feels the weight of responsibility pressing down. Leaving Heartland feels like abandoning them, yet staying could mean abandoning himself. He clenches his fists, nails digging into his palms, and for a moment, everything feels like it's closing in the barn, the ranch, the sky above. The decision isn't just about medicine or treatment. It's about courage, trust, and knowing when to admit that even the strongest need help. Finally, Ty rises, his legs shaking but determined. He grabs the keys to his truck, checking the bandage one last time. The infection burns hotter with every passing second, a vivid reminder that delay is deadly. As he opens the barn door, sunlight cuts through the shadows, illuminating the path ahead. Heartland is behind him, but the choice he makes now will define what comes next. Every step toward the truck is heavy, deliberate, and laced with fear but also resolve. Ty is ready to face the unknown, to confront the danger head-on. Whatever happens next, he knows there's no turning back. The truck roars to life, tires crunching over the gravel drive, and Ty grips the wheel with trembling hands. Every bump in the road sends a jolt through his injured leg, and the heat from the infection spreads like wildfire, making sweat slick his forehead. Outside, the fields of Heartland blur past in streaks of gold and green, but Ty barely sees them. His mind is focused, tense, every thought consumed by the single urgent question, will I make it? Inside the truck, time stretches unbearably. His breathing is ragged, chest rising and falling with painful effort. The pain in his leg pulses, hot and relentless, a constant reminder that the infection is winning. He presses the accelerator, every second a gamble. Thoughts of Amy, Jack, and Lou flash through his mind, their worried faces urging him forward. The weight of responsibility feels unbearable, not just for his own survival, but for everyone who depends on him at Heartland. Every turn on the country road is a test. Lou's gravel skids under the tires, and the sun begins to dip low, casting long shadows that stretch across the path ahead. Ty's vision blurs slightly, fatigue and fever making it hard to focus. For a terrifying moment, he imagines collapsing right here, alone on the side of the road, Heartland fading behind him. But he forces himself to keep moving, jaw clenched, mind sharpened by sheer determination. The infection may be spreading, but so is his resolve. He will not give up, not now, not when the ones he loves are awaiting. As the clinic finally comes into view, a sense of relief washes over him. but it's mingled with fear. Every second spent hesitating could be deadly. He parks, stumbles out of the truck, and limps toward the doors, each step heavier than the last. The bandage is soaked, the redness now vivid and alarming, but Ty pushes forward. His decision to leave Heartland and face the unknown has led him here. The danger is real, the stakes higher than ever, but he is still moving, still fighting. Heartland may feel far away in this moment, but the love and strength that tie him to it give him the courage to confront the infection, no matter how fierce. Ty leans against the clinic wall, chest heaving, as a nurse rushes to his side. The warmth of the room contrasts sharply with the cold dread that had gripped him outside. His bandage is soaked, the skin around it bright red and swollen, but finally, he is no longer facing the infection alone. Relief mingles with exhaustion, a heavy weight pressing down on him as he realizes how close he came to disaster. Every step, every painful decision, has led him to this moment where hope outweighs fear. Back at Heartland, Amy paces the porch, Jack hovering anxiously near the truck, and Lou watches from the doorway, worry etched deep into her features. Their hearts are tied to Ty's fate, and now, slowly, the tension begins to ease. News spreads through their thoughts. Faster than words ever could, Ty made it. He fought. He risked everything. And he survived. The ranch, so alive with life and love, feels safer again, but the memory of danger lingers. A reminder that even in peaceful places, storms can come without warning. Ty sits quietly as the nurse cleans the wound, applying ointments and fresh dressings. He glances at his hands, still shaking slightly from pain and adrenaline, and a faint smile touches his lips. He knows he's lucky not just to survive the infection, but to have a family and home that give him reason to keep fighting. Heartland isn't just a place. It's a promise of love, support, and resilience. And even though the road ahead may have challenges, Ty feels stronger, wiser, and more connected to those he cherishes than ever before. As the camera would pull back, the sun dips below the horizon, casting golden light across the ranch, and the gentle sounds of animals returning to their stalls fill the air. Ty steps outside the clinic, taking slow, careful steps back toward Heartland. The danger hasn't vanished entirely, but the storm has passed for now. His choices, his courage, and the unwavering support of his family have carried him through. Heartland may always face challenges, but its strength lies in the people who refuse to give up, who fight for one another, and who face life's infections, literal or emotional, together. The story ends on a quiet, hopeful note, with Ty limping back toward the ranch. The bandage freshly cleaned, but the lesson clear. Bravery isn't just about facing danger, it's about knowing when to ask for help and leaning on those who love you most. Heartland endures, stronger than ever, because its heart is alive in each of its family members. The sun dips lower, painting the sky in streaks of gold and crimson as Ty slowly makes his way back to Heartland. Each step is careful, every movement a reminder of the battle he's just endured. The infection is now under control, but the memory of the pain, the fear, and the risk lingers like a shadow. Heartland itself seems to breathe with him, the gentle rustle of trees, the distant call of a horse, the soft clatter of tools in the barn. Everything feels alive, comforting, and yet fragile. Amy meets him halfway, her eyes wide with relief, her hands trembling as she reaches for his. No words are needed, one glance says it all. Jack joins them, his face a mixture of worry and pride, while Lou watches quietly from the doorway, her expression softened by the realization that the danger has passed. In that moment, Heartland isn't just a ranch, it's a haven. Every bond, every shared struggle, every risk taken together feels sharper, stronger, and more precious. Ty looks at the barn, the fields, the home that has shaped him, and a quiet smile breaks across his face. The danger may have tested him, the infection may have pushed him to the edge, but the heart of Heartland, the love, the family, the unwavering support remains untouchable. Every choice, every moment of fear, has brought him closer to what truly matters: connection, courage, and the understanding that he doesn't have to face life's storms alone. As the camera pans out, the ranch basks in the soft twilight glow, Shadows stretch across the fields, but they no longer feel threatening. They feel alive, safe, and full of possibilities. Ty stands with Amy and Jack, the three of them silhouetted against the horizon, a symbol of resilience, hope, and the strength of family. Heartland has faced danger, and it has endured. The storm has passed, but its lessons remain. Bravery, love, and the courage to ask for help are the true heartbeats of this home. The scene fades gently, leaving viewers with a sense of relief, hope, and anticipation for the next challenge. Heartland endures, stronger, because it's more than a place, it's a family. And families fight, heal, and grow together. No matter the danger, Ty sits on the porch of Heartland, the evening breeze brushing across his face, carrying the familiar sense of hay, horses, and fresh earth. The wound is finally treated, the pain easing, but the experience has left a mark deeper than the infection ever could. He reflects quietly on the choice he made, the risk, the fear, the loneliness of facing danger alone, and realizes that courage isn't just about acting alone. It's about trusting others, letting them in, and knowing that asking for help doesn't make you weak. Amy sits beside him, her hand finding his, warm and reassuring. Jack leans against the railing, smiling but still watching him with protective eyes. Lou moves quietly through the barn, tending to chores but stealing glances at the trio, silently acknowledging that life at Heartland is fragile but full of love. Together, they form a circle of strength, a reminder that no matter how dire the circumstances, they are never truly alone. As the sun sets, casting a soft golden glow over the ranch, Ty rises slowly, testing his leg, feeling the resilience in his body and in his heart. The infection may have forced him into a dangerous decision, but it also strengthened his bond with those he loves. Heartland is more than land, more than barns and fields. It is family, trust, and the courage to face life's storms together. The quiet of the evening feels peaceful, but it carries a promise. Challenges will come again, but together, they will endure. The camera pans out across the ranch, horses returning to their stalls, the wind rustling through the trees, and the warm glow of the farmhouse windows signaling safety, love, and hope. Ty looks toward the horizon, a hint of determination in his eyes. He knows the road ahead will have its trials, but Heartland has taught him that bravery, family, and heart are stronger than any danger. The scene fades gently, leaving viewers with a sense of closure, warmth, and anticipation for what's next. Heartland stands unbroken, a place of healing, hope, and unshakable spirit, and Ty's journey is a reminder that even in the darkest moments, courage and love light the way.